Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about, well, obviously silver. Particularly, is there a such thing as too much silver? And I know that there are going to be some people right off the bat that are saying, absolutely not, no way, there's no such thing as too much silver. People, you're not a real stacker unless you're weighing your stack in tons, stuff like that. So for some people, obviously the answer is no. But I made a poll question in my community tab here, and I just asked the question. It could have been worded better, but I was just thinking about asking the question, and how I came up with it. I said I wish I kind of worded it differently, but it says, I'm done stacking silver when I reach blank ounces. And I gave 4 options. I thought they were pretty alright, kind of decent options. I wasn't sure how high or low to put them, so I went from 500 down to 2,000 plus. And as you can see here, the majority of people went the 2,000 plus. I thought it might be a bit more, as I know there's a lot of people that are of the mindset that there's no such thing as stacking too much, and they can just stack as much as they get their hands on. But you can see here, close to another 50% of the total votes here were from 1,000 and under. You can see 25% was at that 1,000 mark, and 500 got 22% of the vote. 15 was way in the rear there at 3%. So I could have gone away with 2 things here, obviously, with the way the voting went. I could have given 2 options of less than 1,000 or over 1,000. As you can see, that's the majority of where the votes fell. Like I said, the majority of people were in the 2,000 plus, but there's some comments down here from some people that weren't in that boat. It says David Graney. It says, after 1,000 ounces, I feel like I would shift to more gold-heavy strategy if I was to still stack. It says, 2,000 or 3,000 ounces of silver has got to be unwieldy. I'm not there yet, so I don't know, but I'm sure it does take up a lot of space. A lot of monster boxes. It does take up a good footprint. You need a big safe or 2 to have all that stuff secured. And John Green says, however many ounces I have when they lower me in the ground. So that's a firm camp of 2,000 plus. There is no limit. Austrian Stacker had a very specific amount in mind here. It says 800 ounces of silver and 30 ounces of gold. So that's right in that 1,000 mark there for the poll question. And then you got 3 right in a row here. You got the Gritty Feastool, million ounces, bro. Then it says J Mintz, 2,000 and beyond. And then So I Bought a Bus said when I die. So there's 3 straight right there saying that there is no limit to what they would stack. Now for me, I don't have a set ounce limit, you know what I mean? It's not, for me, I don't have something where it says the second I get to 1,500 ounces, I'm never stacking or I'm never picking up any more silver. And if I happen to sell some stuff off, maybe I'll pick up some more silver till I get that 1,500 ounces again, and then I'm done. I don't really have that mark. So if I were to vote it on that poll, I probably would have went with the 2,000 plus as well, just because I'm thinking that I'm fairly young and I've just got started into the stacking silver, and I plan on doing it for a long time. So just by the sheer accumulation of what I'm expecting to do, I will get over that 2,000 plus mark. But like I said previously, when I was going through some of the comments on the poll, there are some limiting factors as to how much silver that you can buy or that you should buy. I think that any piece of silver is too much silver if you can't afford it. You know what I mean? If you're thinking that I want to buy this silver, but the money that I'm using to buy this silver I might need for groceries next week, don't buy the silver. That's too much silver for you. You can't. You have to make sure you have a budget. You want to stick to that budget, and anything that's outside of it, especially when you're first getting started, don't get in over your head with it. If you can't afford the silver, don't buy it right yet. It'll be there. Unfortunately, there might be a spike, and when the time comes and you want to buy silver and you actually have the money set aside in your budget, spot price might have gone up, and you're going to be obviously have to be paying more. But flip of a coin, once you get your budget going, there could have been a spike, so you save a little money. That's kind of the dollar cost averaging where people are talking about. So if you do have a set budget and you buy at a certain amount, you know what I mean, you're going to see those ups, you're going to see those downs. But just by buying the set amount at a set time, you're basically going to be averaging out. So that's more of a common sense thing about too much silver is, if you're needing to sell your silver about a month after buying it to cover expenses, that's too much silver. For you in this scenario, you know what I mean? That's too much silver. You need to scale back. So I mean, that's for people that's, you know, just getting into stacking. You might get in over your head, but if you're an experienced stacker, been doing it for a while, you got a couple 100 ounces under your belt, there are some limiting factors for you as well. And one of those would be space. For me, I've been doing this for just over a year now, stacking silver heavily, and I'm right around that 500 ounce mark, just a little bit under. I haven't done a full count to know what it is. I plan on doing one of those full stack count videos in the future, but I just haven't gone through the safe and counted everything up yet. But in the ballpark, it's right around that, so I can see how much silver that is, and it's quite a bit. It takes up a bit of a footprint, and if I'm planning on doing this for a couple decades more, I can see just how much room and space it's going to take up if I continue to pick up silver like I am now. You're going to want to make sure that you can secure all this stuff. If you're going to be leaving it at home, you want to make sure you have a nice safe, and you're going to want to make sure it's protected. But if you just keep picking up silver, over 20 years, that's, for me, just looking at it, it's going to be 2 of the safes that I have. And in the current house that I'm at right now, space is extremely limited. I can't think of another place where I'd be able to put, a third safe, or something like that, or just areas that I would think that'd be a good place, but it's already spoken for. There's just not enough room in this place. I am planning on moving in the future, so that could change, and I can have a look and say, okay, maybe I can have a few more spots where I can put it. I don't really have space in the yard. You can always bury your stuff in the yard. You get a PVC, you can just bury it, and it's water sealed. So if you do have a bigger yard, and you can plot out little spots where you can bury some stuff if you don't have room inside the house for safes. But yeah, definitely it's going to build up, and space might be an issue for some people, and security might be an issue. So they'll be saying, hey, right at, let's say it's like 3,000 ounces. That's a lot of silver. And you might say, oh, I want to get to 5,000, but I can't realistically find a safe spaces to put this stuff. So then you might transition to gold. Obviously, gold is much denser. You might convert some of that silver into gold. And of course, with stacking, you have the portability issue. I mean, sure, it'd be great to have $2-3 million worth of silver. That's awesome. That's quite a bit of silver that you have there. But if you're doing it for prepping purposes, and for whatever reason to get out of Dodge quickly and get your prepping stuff, get your I'm gonna prepper the thing, the go bags. You gotta get your go bags, and you need to get out of where you're going. It's going to take a lot of time to move all that silver. So if you're planning to be mobile, and you're planning to have your stuff for the SHTF situations, it's going to be quite a lot to lug around and secure 10,000 ounces of silver. You know what I mean? Some people are like, I'm never stopping stacking. So what if you have money to spare, and you have all that money? There's got to be a point. Like 20,000 ounces of silver, is that enough? How are you going to be moving that stuff around if you're a prepper? So it's just a bit of a hypothetical, a bit of a hyperbole, just to put it into perspective, where, if you do need to be mobile, if you are in a situation where, society has maybe broken down, the grid's gone, whatever it is, the SHTF situation, and you're going to be needing to lug several 100 pounds of silver wherever you go, it might not be the best option. So that's not my primary way of stacking. For people that it is their primary way of stacking, is prepper stacking, I'm sure that they've looked into all of this stuff and weighed it in, and they're thinking, okay, I'm looking at all of my prepping material, I'm looking at all of my bug out bag, my family's bug out bag, the food that we're going to need to put away, you have that vehicle that you're going to be using, whatever that is, you have that all factored in, and you probably thought about just the weight that the silver is going to take up, and just how cumbersome it is, and you're going to have to factor in how much can actually go with you. So if it comes down to a monster box of 500 ounces of silver, or a month worth of food can only fit, you know what I mean? You have just this hypothetical situation, and you have a family of 5. What are you going to most likely take? I'm thinking most people would take the supplies that will cover the family of 5, instead of having some, an extra 500 ounces to go with the 4,000 ounces that you're bringing anyways. You know what I mean? So there is going to be that point. For a lot of people, it does sound simple and saying, oh, I'll never stop stacking. But when you take a step back and think of some different scenarios, for a lot of people, there is a limit. And like you saw on that poll there, that around 50% of the people that voted said that just 1,000 ounces was their limit. The majority said over 2,000, but you can see that there are different stacking strategies. I know one person said that he only has 100 ounces of silver, I think it was. So yeah, a lot of people are thinking, just getting to that 1,000 ounces of silver and then accumulating some more in gold, just because it is that much, denser. So some people choose to go that way. But yeah, like I said earlier in this video, I don't have a concrete number set in my head right now. But when I move and I get to a bigger place, and then I can actually look at the places where I would be planning to put additional safes, and just seeing if there's anywhere I could bury in my backyard. Once I'm in a more permanent spot in a house that I'm going to stay at for a long, long time, then I might actually come up with that number. It might just be a calculation in my head, looking at the amount of monster bucks that would be building up, saying, okay, maybe 3,000, 3,500 would be enough. But at the moment, I guess you could say the sky's the limit, just because I haven't put a cap on it. But I do understand that there are certain situations where there could be a problem of having too much silver. So yeah, that was the end of the video. I'm sure there's going to be some people disagreeing with me that there's no case where there'd be too much silver, and whatever it is, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. But I just thought it'd be a pretty interesting thing to look at when I have that poll question out there. And yeah, just let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you hadn't voted on the poll, it's still up. The YouTube polls don't go anywhere, so those, you'll have your chance to vote on that one. In all the previous polls that I've put up in the past, you can vote on those if you've missed one. But yeah, just let me know in the comments if you have a set number. And like I said, I have heard from a few of you that actually voted on the poll too. But if you missed that, now's your chance to leave a comment on the subject. Yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.